Welcome to the Dream Power Show, where your dreams turn into reality. Here is your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Welcome to the Dream Power Show. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, the Dream Coach. It's hard to live your dream life when your life is turned upside down and sideways and your daily routines have been disrupted. And that's for us lucky ones who have managed to avoid contracting the virus or suffer devastating financial losses as a result of the economic downturn. It's enough to make you want to keep under the covers and hide till it all goes away. But as you regular viewers know, there is another way to go. In truth, we have powers and resources within ourselves that we may not know we have, or may have forgotten when dealing with the new daily realities we face. As a result, there are positive lessons we can learn from these challenging times, and we're going to discuss them with my special guest, Allana Pratt. Allana is an internationally known intimacy and relationship expert and the author of 6 books, including her new one with the provocative title, Finding the One is Bold. Becoming One is Brilliant and Beautiful. Welcome to the Dream Power Show, Allana. The virus is out there and creating havoc wherever we go. And look, as individuals, we can't do anything about it. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a cure. I don't have any special treatments. I don't have any special advice for how to avoid it or anything except for doing what they all tell us to do, like wear masks and keep good hygiene and keep our social distance and all of those things that we all should be doing. So I can't cure it. But what I can do, and what we all can do, is change how we cope with it. So we're not living in fear. And in fact, if we're living in fear, we're not living much at all. So we have to find better ways to deal with it, right? So I know you've come up with some lessons for us, formula for navigating through this storm, including practices we can carry with us in our post-pandemic lives as well. So I know one of the things that you stressed is the concept of control or the lack of it. Can you talk about that?
Isn't it funny? I was on Jenny McCarthy's show and we were talking about how she's like, everybody says it's so uncertain right now. And I'm like, when has it not been uncertain, this life? And a lot of the work I do with intimacy and dating is people want to control the chance of being rejected, whether they are online dating, whether they're on a date, whether they're, in the bedroom, or even whether they've been in a relationship for 20 years. None of us enjoy rejection. And because we can't control as much as we want the other person, and now with COVID, we certainly know that we can't control life. What do? Well, you can freak out and react, become even more of a control freak, hide under the covers, decide, I'm not going to date anymore, or I'm not going to talk to my partner anymore. But of course, that's not going to work. So the other solution is, okay, if I'm going to respond, not react, given I am not able to control things and life is inherently uncertain, where am I going to find safety? The old model was looking for safety in our bank account, in the size of our butt. Look, see how sexy I am. I have a small butt, or what, maybe a big butt, whatever. Or I can look for my worth in my achievements and accomplishments, all of that safety and security outside in. And that's what makes us spin and grasp and hold on to and try to control. That's officially bankrupt. COVID has been a beautiful lesson in that. So what if we started looking for safety and security where we can have it? And I guess we could even use the word where we can control it. Maybe cultivate it is a better word, which is on the inside. And so I, as an intimacy expert, needed to learn what I teach, because I was just like most of humanity, seeking on the outside for my safety and approval. And I started to cultivate a relationship on the inside with, I call her little Allana. There's probably 15 or 20 of her on the inside. All these little parts that are afraid, ashamed, scared, sad, mad, don't know how to be with the uncertainty. And it feels like an emotion. It feels like anxiety. It feels like overwhelm. It feels like, even if depression, the hey, we got to do something about this. But if you shove it down, that potency, that anger, if you shove it down, it feels like depression. So all these emotions on the inside, I don't know about you, Debbie, but I wasn't taught growing up how to navigate intense emotions. It's just like, stop crying and put a happy face on and get a move on, like squish it. And so I've learned over time how to welcome, go towards little Allana, give her a hug, validate her, acknowledge her. Hey, breathe. You have every right to feel this way. This is an uncertain time. And through visualization, through breath, through quantum science, all the processes, when we go on the inside, we can actually start to cultivate safety on the inside. I might not know what's going to happen on the outside, but I will have my own back. I may not have security in my bank account, but I have security within, with the divine, with God, with my resilience, with my intuition, with my creative capacity, with my infinite possibilities that I can tap into when I'm calm and harmonious and coherent in my heart. So that's this inner cultivation of safety and security, which allows us to keep our eyes wide open in a very uncertain world and be present. Make wise choices for ourselves that align with our truth. Be compassionate to others. Have patience. Focus on gratitude. There's a lot of capacities that happen when we can be with uncertainty. And even after you practice, begin to dance with the mystery. So it doesn't need to be a scary thing every day. You can say, okay, I choose such and such. What do you think, universe? And you can begin to have this co-creative dance with the mystery. And sooner than later, the universe starts to respawn back, because you're choosing to respond. It's a higher vibration than reacting. The universe then mirrors back your higher vibration of responding with serendipity, miracles. You get an email from somebody, things go more flowingly with the bank account, etc. Everything's a reflection of what's going on the inside.
But doesn't it also boil down to loving yourself, loving that little you that you're getting in contact with?
Well said, Deb. Of course, like, it's really easy to love our triumphant, got it together, looks so good part, right? But it's more difficult to love that scared, ashamed, afraid, mad, uncertain part. So yes, when we go in and we do this work with little you to make them feel safe, to make that part of you feel secure, you've got to learn to unconditionally love that part, which means love without condition, which means if you're sad, I love you. If you're happy, I love you. If you're scared, I love you. If you're triumphant, I love you. Like, no matter what, I love you and I got you, which doesn't mean we have to like it. It's more of a state. I like the word allowance. Like, you're not going to resist that part of you. You're not going to say, change. You better change for me to love you. You're going to say, I love you as you are. I allow the way you are. I may not prefer that you're having a freak out right now. I may not prefer that you want to stay in bed and eat another bag of chips right now. I may not prefer that you just yelled at the kids. But hi, you're doing your best. I'm here. I love you. I got you. You have every right to feel this way. I acknowledge you. Compassion, empathy for self turns into love, turns into unconditional love, brings us back to center, presence, grace, where we can choose again with our highest prefrontal cortex, our highest creativity, our highest abstract thinking, and our instincts, intuition. Yeah, this is my way. This is my path. This is my truth. And then we clean up our mess. If we made a mess, we make up for the damage done if we need to apologize, and we begin again.
And talking about thanking and forgiveness brings to me the point of gratitude. How can people find their way to gratitude when they're focused on what's not working in their world?
Well, the first way, I like the heart math. I like when my intuition is proven with science. So I've been hanging out with the heart math wonderful people, and I've got my little inner balance so I can check my coherence level in my heart. And what science feedback is telling me is when I slow my breath down in my heart, and I'm grateful for, I literally have a beating heart right now. Like, let's just start with that, okay? So I breathe through my heart and I'm grateful for my heart. The number goes up a little bit, up in harmony, up in love. They can measure this coherence. then I start to be grateful for things that are easy, like reconnecting with you, Debbie. I could be grateful for that. I could be grateful that there's money in the bank, there's food in the fridge, there's a roof over my head, that I have life, that my loved ones are alive. I can have so have gratitude for the easy stuff first. And I notice the number goes up. And then here becomes the next level of practice. Can we be appreciative for and grateful for the challenges and still keep our heart open? And so this becomes our new muscle in the gratitude practice, because thank you for giving me this challenge. I am grateful for this challenge. I am appreciative for this challenge because I've learned, and then you fill in the blank, compassion for myself. I've learned to forgive myself. I've learned to be a little more patient with others. I've learned that life doesn't go according to plan, and it could be even better than I ever imagined if I let go of control, let go of expectations, let go of a timeline that I think is the way to do it, right? So we can start to get grateful for obstacles. We can start to get appreciative for challenges, and even for pain. We can even be grateful for the gifts of pain. It builds resilience, fortitude, grit, strength, right? So and then I measure all of this with the inner balance. And as I start, it wobbles a bit as I bring up something that is challenging. But if I keep my heart open and I focus on feeling, not thinking, feeling appreciation for, it's almost like a humility, like a humble kind of like, thank you that I fell down because I learned how to get back up. Thank you that I messed that up because I learned how to clean it up. Thank you that I had no idea what to do, but I prayed and I journaled and I meditated and I went for a walk in nature and I got an inspiration. Thank you that I pivoted my business and I didn't know what was going to happen and I had to go on blind faith, but I'm learning to trust my heart. You see, if you can be grateful for all the challenges as well, then the number goes up even higher and you feel this gratitude. And the feedback loop is showing you that, again, gratitude is helping literally your immune system, your body run better. Everything is healthier inside your body as you're being measured in this gratitude and appreciation. And then here's the last piece that really made the number go higher. I'm still a kind of driven lady. I like results. I like to win. I got to admit. And what happened was when I got attached, I made it important, a little too significant that things would go a certain way, even as I was feeling appreciation, even as I was visioning the best possible outcome, even as I was being grateful for X, Y, and Z. If I was attached, if I made that very significant that it turned out my way, according to my timeline with my expectations, the number kind of hovered. But when I just said, oh, I'm just going to let this go, or better, I surrender, I let it go, this or better, I let go of all importance, I lower all significance, this is the best I got, universe, have at it with me, like a dance. The number went, it skyrocketed even higher. And so it's a practice. This gratitude is literally a measurable practice.
Seems that we need to feel. It seems to me, well, if you're freaked out about what's going on, how does feeling help us? Especially if what we're feeling is negative.
What I've been trained in is you actually feel that which you've been resisting for a very short period of time, noticing the image, thinking the thought, feeling the emotion, letting every body sensation be there for a short period of time, taken through a process will allow it to integrate into the next level. So maybe freak out is the first thing someone would feel. Then the next level might be, maybe there was some anger around that. They would feel the anger. Then the next level might be, actually, that really made me feel sad underneath it all. Then they'd feel the sadness. And then maybe the next thing would be, oh, that makes me hopeless. They'd feel the hopeless. Now, right there, that's so much caca. Most people won't even feel the first one and go straight for the glass of wine. But if you're willing to be held in these processes by me or one of my certified coaches, and we got you, and you keep feeling the emotions fully for short periods of time, all four elements every single time, all of a sudden you get to, oh, acceptance. Oh, the next one is calm. Oh, the next one is stillness, absolute stillness. And then the next one is, oh, inspiration. I have an idea. I see something I never saw before. Because you literally have aligned your brain, your body, the coherence in your heart with the field around you, with your own intuition and the best part of your brain. And all of a sudden, your wisdom itself.
How can we find out more about you and your services?
Oh, Debbie, thank you. My name is my website, allanapratt.com, and there is an intimacy blind spot assessment there. There's connection to my YouTube channel with over 5 million views. My podcast, Intimate Conversations, just interviewed John Gray yesterday for the second time. Lots of great conversations there and lots of resources for people to listen to and be loved. So
We've been speaking with intimacy and relationship expert Allana Pratt. We'll be right back with our next guest. Well, it's dream time today on the Dream Power Show. We're going to be talking all things dreams with one of my favorite dream masters, Walter Berry. You seem to be saying the word dream a lot, aren't I? Well, there's a reason for that. For years, Walter's been running a dream group and workshops in the Los Angeles area. And he's spoken about dreams in places like Harvard University, and he's appeared in major national newspapers. He's also been featured in the book Chicken Soup for the Soul, Dreams and Premonitions. I'm also featured. And he's about to publish a new book about dreams. Welcome back to the Dream Power Show, Walter.
Good to be here, Debbie. Glad to be here.
So I tell you, I was using the word dreams a lot. Is there a good synonym for dreams?
No, actually, because I wrote a book on it, it's like you want to say, oh, thesaurus and dreams, and there really isn't anything. There's that, there's some word, what is it, aeronaut? What is that weird word that like the lucid people use? I have no idea. So I dream. I don't know what else to do. Yeah, it doesn't have much of a synonym.
Because you can't say nightmares because they're not all nightmares, and
Right.
You can't say like, I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So I guess we're just left with dreams, and we'll have to
dreams. I mean,
yeah. So I'm going to start out asking you this: how has COVID-19 affected your dreams?
It has been. I've had a number of dreams where it's about confinement, and I just had one the other night with a chasm. I get lower and lowered into this chasm, and I'm trying to get out of it. There's a whole. That's where I find it to affect me. I also find that I do a dream group online, but I so miss the in-person piece of it. There's something about touching people and being able to talk in a group and stuff, and it's really. It's pushed things around, and I've worked a lot of COVID dreams where people have had bugs flying through the window, and it's affected everybody. I think it really is. Our psychology is really tough right now because of this.
Yeah, I think so. But have you found that all of the COVID dreams, you have sort of a negative tinge to them?
Yeah, most of them. I hate to admit that, but yeah, it feels like most of them are that. Sometimes, dreams always offer us a solution, at least in my world, and so there's usually, I think a lot of the times when it's the COVID is kind of like when we dream, the symbols of our lives or the things that happen in our lives are used as symbols. Like, I just got back from a trip on Big Sur, so I'm having dreams with, coastal mountains and that sort of thing. So same thing with COVID. I think it also can be a tool to say, oh, what's bugging me, for instance, and I don't think it's just about COVID. I think it's about what bugs me in my life. At least that's when I work through dreams with COVID dreams with people. It turns out it's more than that. It's about, it's about their lives and what's bugging them and what's holding them back. The aspects of COVID that actually reflect in our own life.
Yeah, well, isn't it always coming back to what's going on in our lives?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't want to admit that. It's really funny because our egos get in the way of that. But yes, absolutely. It's like, oh, well, yeah, I'm sure this is just a dream because of COVID. It has nothing to do with the fact that I just divorced my husband and my children hate me. But no, yeah, I'm sure that has nothing to do with it, Okay.
Yeah, that's just a little side thing. It doesn't mean anything at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll give you my first, what I like to call my first COVID dream, because to me it was a good dream. So
Yeah.
So this was like right when it was first announced, when it first became aware that it was going on. I had a dream, and like most of my dreams, it's really kind of short and sweet. But the gist of it was that I just saw all these seeds flying around all over the place, and I took it to mean that it's time to go out and plant seeds in terms of looking for other avenues to go out and find things and not be confined to any place, and that things will grow.
I think that there's a real, for my money, even though this is really difficult, it also is the fact that like we have a chance now to look at ourselves because we are alone. We're held in. We have to stay home. It's a wonderful time to actually discover your own soul. You know, to say what's going on. As a matter of fact, I've worked more dreams lately because people now are remembering their dreams because they're not working or they're not getting up at 6 o'clock to go to work and forgetting their dreams. So I like, there's in a sense, there's kind of a double-edged sword. It's a terrible thing, but it offers us the opportunity to really discover who we are, you know, to really dig in and say, here I am, here are my dreams, even in my life where, you know, what do I need to fix in my house? What do I need to do with my life? How do I improve my relationships, you know? So that's
and we need that more than ever because we are facing new challenges that we haven't had to deal with before. And knowing ourselves, you know, the thing that I love about dreams, I'm sure you do, is that, you know, dreams give us the answers. They give us the insights into what we're looking for. So when we work with that, knowing that, that's really going to help us ride out this storm in the best way possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I wanted to get back to, you know, you've been working, I said at the beginning, you've been working with dream groups, you know, for a long time. Do you find that working in a group is the best way to get an understanding of your dreams?
Yes, I do. It depends sometimes on the situation and the dream. I mean, there are dreams where I've had dreams that are very private dreams that people don't want to really share with a group. You know, there's like, especially some sexual dreams, people are afraid of dealing with that sort of thing. But for the most part, what happens in a dream group is it's magnificent because you have, if it's done correctly, you have a whole series of people voicing the dream in their own voice. You know, they have a voice and they're giving that same dream a little spin this way, a little spin that way. And it reflects, and it not only teaches and opens up what happens with the dreamer, but also our own lives. I mean, I've learned stuff from people's dreams. I went, oh my God, I never thought about this or that. I've never thought about how it feels to be in a prison. You know, how does that really feel? You know, or whatever it is. It's tremendous to work with a group. It's magnificent.
Yeah, and you said now it's all online, of course. So how is that working out?
It has its upsides and its downsides. It's the upside of it is that I have people from Australia and England and you know, Canada and Berkeley and all some people all over the world. It's, you know, I have to limit the group, but it's, you at least get that. So there's positive aspects of it. Then you get all those very diverse feelings and ideas that come into the room. But I do miss the in-person piece of it. You know, it's not quite the same. It's a little sterile.
But Walter, you have said in the past that dreams give you a sense of awe. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Oh, don't start me on that. I'll try to be good. It starts with the idea that dreams speak in a symbolic language. They don't come out and say, I think you should leave the guy who's beating you, you know. They do a tsunami wave instead. So they speak a symbolic language. And so what happens is that it comes from, I think, our souls speak naturally, poetically. And so in that place, in a sense, underneath, that soulful place under all of us have deep inside of us, is this voice, the unconscious, the collective unconscious connected to it. And we have this incredible voice. And if we can somehow allow ourselves to fall into that, it's a sense of awe. Oh my God, it's what it's all about for me. It's about that sense where you go, oh, you know, that feeling of awe. It happens if you can fall into the dream because it's poetic. It has meaning. It's not just clear like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's this beautiful rhythm. It's dancing. it's poetry, it's philosophy, it's wonderful, and it's a natural place of awe.
One of the things that always impressed me, especially when I first met you, was you have epic dreams.
Yes.
You have major epic dreams, and you can remember them. So how
Yes.
do you remember a dream that's that involved?
Sometimes it's very difficult, sometimes it's very easy. What happens that usually when they come, they're big dreams, and so they pop at you, and you, oh. And my thing is, I try to be extremely careful with when I wake up from a dream. What I do is I have my phone next to I used to write it down, but I find that too slow and too cognitive. So I have my phone and I go, I talk into my phone, and I get as many details as I can in a very quiet way without disturbing the dream as much as I can. And then once I get that down, I sit there and I think, okay, and is there, wait, what about that orange bee that flew into the flower? And and I add those things to it because it's like they will appear. So it's the real concentrated effort to be able to like hold it together in a recording is for me. And then even when I write it up, once I get the recording pretty solid, I mean, if I really work at it, if I have to really work at it and get as much as I can on it, then when I write it up, other things will appear too. Oh, that's right. The woman was a Black woman, things come to you, because what happens is in our short-term memories are the things that hold dreams. The long-term memories in the frontal cortex are asleep at night. So when we do it, it's in that little catch that is there. So we have to kind of get as much as we can at the time. So, but yeah, there are times when I'm up at night for an hour writing and recording dreams, and I'm a little obsessive about it. Yeah.
Do you then do the drawing, or do you write about it first?
I usually write about it first. Sometimes I do the drawing if there's something really compelling that I have to get down. But mostly it's the words, because they can bring the drawing back again, and then I do the drawing. It seems like the drawing is an after thing for me. That seems to help on another layer, another level. It drops down into a deeper place. Yeah.
So you get the basic understanding first, and then
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. I mean, the picture behind me is a dream that I just had the other night. And it's that's a drawing that I did from it. So I hang them up and see what happens with the dreams. So.
So once you hang it up, how long does it take you before you get that aha moment?
It varies. It varies. I've had ones where I've gone, oh my God, 3 weeks later, I went, oh, this is about my ex-wife. Oh no, or whatever it is, it comes to you because you just go, you keep going past this piece of art, and it's not even a piece of art. You can see my stuff is that way. It's just stick figures and scribbles and stuff. But there's a sense. There's something when you commit it to paper. There's something about committing it and having it a real source of the dream. It's for me, the drawings are a window into the dream. They are an absolute window that opens up into the place of awe. It's an entrance. It's a portal into that beautiful place of our souls that sits inside of us. Our unconscious has all this information for us and about us, and that's the portal. For me, is the dream drawing.
Well, I can't end this without talking about that book. I understand the title is Drawn into the Dream.
Into the Dream. Yes, Drawn into the Dream.
When are you going to see it?
Oh, it's soon. But this the publishing thing that goes. It's new to me, but it's done. I just have to get it now out there. That's the part that's hard. But I have loved writing this. I just last night finished like the third rewrite of it, and I actually, to tell you the truth, I should admit this, but I thought, I need to write a conclusion. But I hadn't read it for a while, and I read the end of it. And I thought, I actually cried at my own book. I mean, maybe it's because I was finishing it, but it was like, it was really, really powerfully moving to me. It's a very personal story, has a lot of dreams in it, a lot of dreams from a lot of people and drawings and stuff. It's a fun ride. I talk about Judy Garland, Greg Allman. I tell stories. you'll see. When you see it, it'll be, hopefully you'll like it. It'll be fun. But if not, okay.
Well, finish it because I can't wait to see it.
I know. I got to get it out. This is so difficult for me.
How can
Yes.
people find out more about you? What you do?
Oh, I don't know. I'm on, I didn't think about, see, that's the part I haven't prepared yet. Like, I got a book, but I have no idea. I have a website that's not up yet. It's walterberrydreams.com. So that eventually, if you wait for a little bit, I'll probably have that up. My son's working on that. walterberrydreams.com.
We've been speaking with dream expert Walter Berry. We'll be right back with our next guest. I truly believe everybody should be living their dream life. But I also know that for some people, the journey to get there can be a rocky one. I mean, taking the time to really look within will result in revealing things about yourself that you've probably kept hidden your entire life. Things that might be difficult truths to face. And then, when you do that deep dive and discover your true passion and purpose, you might find that it doesn't align with your present life. And then that brings up another issue. In order to get rid of that feeling, you have to take action and do something about it. Well, it helps if you hear how others have navigated that journey, a journey that my guest, Ellen Atkins, has taken, reinventing herself as the suburban monk and finding laughter and love along the way. How did she do it and why? Well, let's find out. Welcome to the Dream Power Show, Ellen.
I'm excited to be here.
Well, Ellen, like I said, you woke up one day with that nagging feeling in your heart that something was quite missing from your life. Can you tell us what you did next?
So I actually went from being a CPA in the corporate world for 30 years. I was also a mom of 3 sons. And it just seemed crazy that I would give up 30 years of a career. And I didn't hate it. And the day went fast and I made good money. There was nothing logical about quitting. But there was this nagging feeling in me. And I kept hearing the words, but Ellen, if you get to the end of your life and you didn't have the courage to see what else was out there, to everybody else, I would have had the dream life. I had a good marriage, had my kids, and just there was a lot about my life that people would think, oh, she had a great life. But I would know deep inside that now what I call, I didn't answer the call, like in the hero's journey. So yeah, one day, it wasn't just one day because it was on my mind for a few years, but one day I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I have to quit and see what else is out there.
When you had that one day when you said you finally made a decision to make a decision,
Yes.
Was there an incident or anything that happened, or was it just a feeling where you said, I have to do it now?
You know what happened is, well, I had quit 2 years earlier and my boss and I got along great. And she's like, I'm not letting you quit. Just work from home. Don't be so compulsive. And obviously I didn't have to listen to her, but I thought, okay, let me try that. And then I turned 50. 2 years went like that. And I turned 50 and I thought, okay, it's now or never.
Then you came up with the little images that we see right behind you, those little images of a laughing Buddha that you call Sid.
Yeah, he even has a name.
Yes. How did you come up with the idea of Sid?
So when I first quit, I had no idea what I was going to do. And I felt really lost. We still had one of our 3 kids home. And so first I thought I'd be the perfect mom and I'd get like these snacks and my youngest would walk in and I had like this pretty clementine and, he'd walk in with his earbuds and be like, no thanks. So that didn't go over very well. And I tried different things and I started feeling really lost and I knew it would be hard. And so then my goal became you need to get yourself happy again. So I went on a mission to become happy again, and I would notice anything that shifted my energy, like a color, a quote. I would tape them all over the walls. I didn't know about Pinterest then. In fact, a niece came over and said, Auntie Ellen, don't you know about Pinterest? Because I had things all over the wall. And it actually led me to Laughing Monk statues, because I was like, oh, these are cool. And I ordered one. It was like really big. And I fell in love with it. I would dress it up. I would duct tape affirmations. So I'd get up in the morning, kind of depressed, getting my coffee, which I don't drink now. It's so funny to say that. And there he would be with a mop on his head, like a duct tape, sunglasses, and I would crack up. So I ordered so many of them, and I would put them all around the house, and different messages, and my kids were like, Dad, should we be worried? My dad and my husband was like, I don't know, she seems happy. And the time would fly back. I forgot that I was like lost and a little uncomfortable. And yeah. And one thing led to another. And I thought, if I was going to make a statue, I wouldn't have his arms touch, because I love to dress them up. Look at his feet. I just love putting socks on with affirmations. I have a hole so I could have a flag. Yeah, one thing led to another.
When you had this transformation in your life, how
Yeah.
did it affect your family? I mean, were they on board with it?
What I first did, I cleared out the Xbox room, and I bought a meditation cushion. So I had like a little altar and a meditation cushion. If I could sit for 2 minutes, I thought that was a good thing. And I started reading all these books, like anything spiritual or metaphysical. And that is when I didn't understand it, but this huge transformation was going on. My husband always said, I have a great husband, and he always said he just wanted me to be happy. If I wanted to quit, like he just wanted me to be happy. And so one of the three boys was a little, like I had to rein it in a little with like my past lives. Like, honey, I was a princess and you were my bodyguard. And he's like, so I had to rein it in a little bit.
He wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, as I was singing, because I love you. But then the two did go off to college. So the youngest one was fine with it. He was in his own world. He was a teenager. So, yeah. I mean, my husband saw the whole thing. And actually, when I finally turned the corner, he just was so proud of me. He didn't know how it was going to turn out. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. If somebody had told me at corporate, oh, don't worry, you'll be fine. You're going to create this company called the Suburban Monk, whose mascot is this like happy little guy with thumbs up, I would have been like, I wasn't one of those creative types. So I would have been like, yeah, I don't think so.
So do you think it helped your marriage?
We had a good marriage, but it definitely helped because, I mean, he liked both of me. He has said, I'm totally married to a different person. But he said to me the other day, he said, what I love is you're always finding new things to expand. Because I now believe, like, we're here to learn lessons. We're here to keep doing new things. I don't believe in age. I just never stop creating. I love to create. I love doing new things. And he said, I love that about you. He said, I have a lot of friends whose wives, it's great. They're really happy, but they're, I don't know what you would have done. It's more exciting for him.
You could see it in your face that, this has brought more joy into your life as well. And I want you to speak a little bit about, why joy is important for us, because there are so many people who just go through life with their heads bent down and feeling miserable. And I think that's life for them.
I think joy is everything. I think we're put on this earth to feel joyful. And, you know, when you can find one thing of joy, it also gives you hope. And hope is everything also. And, you know, I thought I was happy. I liked my job. But I was always I was just like always going. Like during the week, who was getting one kid to this, you know, like it was crazy raising 3 kids, both working full time. Weekends was travel soccer. But I thought I was happy. But when I quit, what was really interesting and I get a little embarrassed to say it, I actually didn't know it made me happy. I just was such a type A Virgo, like CPA accountant. Like I mean, for Hebrew school, I had an Excel spreadsheet and everybody knew what the snack was of the day. I mean, I was just, and if you asked me, was I happy? I would say yes. But when you make the shift, it's hard to explain until you've done it, but it's everything. Like yes, we're here to learn lessons. Yes, we're here to be a good mom if that's our path. But when we're joyful, I think we actually create joy in everybody around us. I think joy heals.
Then now that you found your mold maker, you had these SIDS developed, and you decided to market SID out to the world. There are big SIDS, little SIDS in all kinds of colors. So what does somebody do with SID?
Well, first of all, he is so magical. I am not kidding. Well, first of all, he can be a ring holder if you get the little one. He makes the best present because he really is good luck, and each color has a different meaning. I have had so many stories of just how powerful he is. And at the very least, if you don't believe in that whole world, just try and look at him and not smile. And even to me, smiling, it changes your whole vibration. So I just think he's the best gift. For $25, he comes beautifully packaged. He's great for any celebration. We're now doing Give Your Kid a SID with all the homes, you know, everything that's going on in the homeschooling. There's something you have to experience. When you get one, you just get it. It's like you just want to take them everywhere. And those are the notes I'll get from people. I have a funny story.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that you have gotten reactions from all over the world. So share.
He's all over the world. But so every so often my husband will be like, honey, we need to have the money talk. And I said, can you just give me notice? Like you'll come home. And so he emailed me that day. He's like, yeah, we need to have the money talk. And I'm like, oh, here we go again, the money talk. So he's in the kitchen, I don't know, cooking, and I'm going through the mail. And he's like, so, you know, like, what do you think you're going to be spending next year? And all of a sudden, it was around Valentine's Day. I see this card. And I opened it up, and somebody made me, I should have brought it. It's on Instagram. Somebody made me the most beautiful card. It had a pink SID. It looked like he was an angel because it had like wings. That was just a reflection. And I opened it up, and she wrote me this whole letter that now she's a cancer survivor. I'm like, honey, you have to read this. She took him to every appointment. And she really believes that he was her magic charm.
How can people find out more about you and about SID?
My website is thesuburbanmonk.com. I'm all over social media, so it's all at thesuburbanmonk.com.
We've been speaking with Ellen Atkins all about SID. We'll be right back with our next guest.
On the Dream Power Show, we spend a lot of time talking about how dreams and other modalities help bring out our inner beauty. But truth be told, while that is great and what we should aspire to, how we physically present ourselves to the world is just as important. I mean, you can be the most giving, angelic person ever, but people are never going to see that if you look like a hot mess. So, how do we find our beauty, especially when the bloom of our youth has faded? Let's ask an expert. Joy Ruffen is a signature style specialist who is all about inspiring women in their second act, promote an image that fits their personality and lifestyle. Welcome to the Dream Power Show, Joy.
Debbie, it's so good to be with you. And what a wonderful introduction. I love the way you parlayed into what we're going to be talking about.
So tell me, how do you define style?
Oh, what a question. Well, you know, it took me quite a while to come to understand and to know the difference between fashion and style, because my background is in the fashion industry, which I love, but yet somehow, somewhere, many of us women, especially those of us who are in our second act, regardless of age, we've gone over to the dark side because fashion is very fickle and style is very individual. And it brings out the inner you, the inner glow. It helps you to project the core, the essence of who you are.
So tell me, what's the biggest mistake women make with their wardrobes?
There are several, but I feel that probably from what I have seen and witnessed is that the biggest mistake is that we, as we mature, when you're young, Debbie, you can get away with any, every, and all. You can wear everything. You can. But as we age and that body begins to go through its transformation, good, I don't like bad and indifferent, but it changes. And then we have to change with it. And what happens for too many women is that they don't know, because they weren't taught, I wasn't, how to dress that best showcases their body shape. And that's the biggest mistake. You see women who are wearing just the wrong styles for their body shape.
But how would you figure out your body shape if you really aren't quite sure, and especially if it's changed over the years?
Good
I
question.
know mine has.
Well, the change over the years happens for all of us. Trust me, we know this. But yet, for body shapes, there are 5 major body shapes. And there's a way that we can discover that. But for now, I'm just going to list them for you, and you can kind of visualize what they might be. We have the apple, we have the pear, we have the hourglass, we have the rectangular, and we have the inverted triangular. Now, if you kind of really give it some thought, you can kind of visualize what those body shapes are. And a prime example I like to give, because people can visually see things, we talk about the apple shape. Well, Debbie, how many different apples are there? One apple could be 5'5", another apple could be 6'4", like my aunt, and yet they can't wear the same thing. And this is a mistake big time. And even now that they're beginning to inroad into body shapes in the fashion industry, it's not well defined enough. You have to really get to know your body. If you like fashion, if you like style, and you want to have your own individual style, you have to know your body shape. That's your beginning. And you measure and you find out, and we have all of that in place.
Yeah, for a second, you mentioned something I was going to ask you about, and that's height. Because I am what you might politely call short-statured. And things that might look good on me are not going to look good on a really tall person, and vice versa.
Yes.
So when you say you have the body shape, how do you adjust for height?
I have something that I have developed, and I call it the Joy Code. And your question would be answered in the Joy Code. And that Joy Code has to do with balance, harmony, and grace. Now, balance has to do with proportion, scale, and fit. So that's why if you're considered average or short, and someone else is considered tall and taller, then you're not going to be able to wear the same thing. But you have to know that. So the proportion, the scale, and the fit of the outfits that you're wearing, they have to fit you. And that's why with all the different body shapes, the scale, the proportion, and the fit has to be unique to you. And that you learn. We're not taught this in school.
I want to talk about women in the corporate world? Can they look feminine and project a sense of power at the same time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And listen, you and I could be talking forever and ever and ever. My key word is professional. Professional people. And professional people, it does not mean that you can be casual and not be professional. You can be still casual and professional. Women can be professionals in the corporate world, in the business world, and entrepreneurial, and still dress like a professional. Be feminine and look great. It doesn't have to be short, tight, and revealing. It has to fit your body where people look to you with high regard and respect. And you can have all the different styles and still project that. It's knowing how. And how you do that and still stay professional. It's an art, it's a dance, it's a key, but you can have it.
You specialize in helping people find their style. So when someone comes to you for advice, where do you start?
I start with asking them to help me in the discovery of their bodies. First, we determine their body shape. And then I'm asking them, what parts of your body are you absolutely mad for, that you love, that you want to have as a part of your signature style? And what parts of your body do you want to conceal and somewhat make sure that it's covered in a way because it's not a part of your body that you're absolutely ecstatic over? Because we all have that, Debbie. We all have it. There are parts of our bodies that we're absolutely ape about, and there are others that we say, ugh, you know. And whatever that is, we start there. And then we determine what body shape, garments, outfits are best suited for their bodies. And we can never, ever forget, and I say we because there's a tribe of people around me, we can never forget their fashion personality. Personality counts a lot because maybe they're more of an introvert than an extrovert. They don't like dramatic, bold things. And then we got to really connect to their lifestyle, their successful lifestyle, 99.9% of the time. Those elements and what they're doing and their work all plays into the fashion style, the signature style that they want to project in the corporate business world. I like business world better than corporate. Because you can be a business person, you don't have to be in the corporate world.
This is true. This is true. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, it's not
Exactly.
just you're just doing it. And you just want to present your best self out there.
There you go.
So, can you just give me an example of, let's say, somebody maybe who has big hips and wants to minimize that? Yeah.
Yes. That would be a pear shape. But let me just say this to you. You mentioned a word there earlier in context of sharing something with the audience. Bottom line, it's always about quality. And quality doesn't have to be the highest priced item in a shop or store or boutique, wherever you're shopping. But quality is another item when it comes to women who are in their second chapter, second act, regardless of age. We talk a lot about quality and fabrics. But back to your question, if someone, let's say, is a pear shape, which means that you're hippie, thighs, then you don't want to the sad thing, and I say sad because this is somewhat of a movement that I'm involved with. The sad thing is that for now, it seems that behinds, derrieres, the backside, and there are many other words that we could use, it seems to be a pivotal point for women to showcase. And it's really sad because not many women out there are looking like J-Lo. Now, J-Lo works out 2 or 3 hours every day. I heard her say that on television. And J-Lo is J-Lo. God bless her. I love her. Yet, you and I are not J-Lo. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going to the gym every day. And the backside is not the side that I want to project. So you have to learn to wear clothes, if you care, and hopefully you do, that project your entire body and showcase your hips in a very attractive way. And the leggings, jeggings, and tights that so many women are running around, that's not doing it.
When you're working with somebody and you're in the process of assembling a wardrobe for them, do you stay with certain colors and fabrics, or can you mix it up, or which is better, to just have a whole variety of different things and different colors, or just to stay in one color?
Well, that depends on the individual, Debbie. It really is contingent upon the person and what style they're in. Now, we have 5 major style categories. And so contingent upon which is your main, that's where we focus, that's where we stay. And just as an example, we have the classic, which is still the number one style all over the world, no matter what ethnic group, culture, whatever. And then we have natural, sporty, one and the same, super casual. We have chic, we have romantic, and then we have dramatic. Now, most women, Debbie, are going to fit one major category, but they might have one other sub and maybe 2, not more than that, because then it gets to be, I love Iris Apfel, love her, but how many Iris Apfels can we have? This means that she loves everything that's big and bold and wonderfully crazy, but that's her and that's her style, but that's not for everyone. So you have to first determine, which I will help you to do, what your preference is in style. What category do you fit in? And then we work around developing and assembling a wardrobe for you that's in that category.
Let's say that you don't have a lot of money to spend on clothes. Are there some musts that every woman should have in her wardrobe?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions about signature style or having style, not being a fashionista, that's a whole different ballgame, is that you have to have a lot of money. And that is so wrong. You can be very, very stylish and walk into a room and own that room, walking out of Walmart, JCPenney, and any other Steinmart. And I'm not knocking these stores because I think most women shop there. But once you know quality and you know value and you know your color palette and your body shape, you can assemble a wardrobe that would put somebody who has millions of dollars to shame. So it's not about the money. It's about knowing your style and knowing what works best for you and knowing a lot about fabrics. Because a lot of the lower end stores have fabrics that you wear them once and they're gone. So you'll learn to decipher what those are and to stay away from them. But it's not about the money. It's about the knowing.
Here we are, we're now stuck at home, and maybe a lot of us, even in our work situations, are really only seen from the waist up, on video calls and video chat. Yeah. So what do you suggest for style in the age of COVID?
Well, one of the things that I suggest is that you really get to know what part of your body you want to showcase, what part are you most proud of, and also, if you can, stay with the color palette that works best for you. And once you know that, whatever it is that you have on, it works. And the other thing, especially unless you're in the gym every day, if you're a woman who is in that second act, second chapter, midlife, whatever terminology you want to use, you are better off to wear something that covers your arms, because most arms may not be your best asset to show. That's not for everyone. You might be Michelle Obama, and if that's the case, you show those arms off. I'm not. I don't do that exercise every day. But yet, by the same token, make sure that it's neat and that the color works for you and that from the waist up, it shows you in the best light.
I'd like to ask you, how can people find out more about you and your work?
Oh, I hope they will. Listen, I have a brand new website that's up. It's in my name, www.joyruffen with an E, RUFFEN.com. Can go there and everything's on that website. And when you're there, go and get your free complimentary brochure, how you can develop your signature style and stamp it to you. And that will be a complimentary seed beginning for all the things that are optional and possible for you.
We've been speaking with stylist extraordinaire Joy Ruffen. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. Until next time, this is Debbie Spector Weissman saying, sweet dreams, everybody.
Bye.